Hey everybody, another episode of On the Paint Table. Is my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So this week was a pretty big week for painting. I painted up another villain for Perilous Tales, which you'll see coming up soon. Mike has also updated the rules with some changes to how the villainous behaviors work, some changes to the threat table as well, and a few odds and ends just as far as like movement interactions, horror tests, stuff like that. And I completely finished painting my Escalation set for Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, which I'm pretty stoked about. As it means that I'll be able to try that out this week. So see that coming soon. I think not this coming week, but the week after. Yes, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from you watching this, basically, 2 Wednesdays. You'll see some Blackstone Fortress kick off as I kick off the Escalation campaign with some new heroes. We'll, of course, return some heroes from their data vaults as well. And I'm going to start painting through some of the new support characters that you can do as well. Because I painted XO1, who comes in the Escalation box. But there's also Ogrins and Arcoflagellant. If I can find them, because I don't know if Owen might have the model, and I'll repaint it. There's the flash kit that you can have as well. So lots of options, lots of cool things to do. And of course, I want to finish off my Chaos Cultists for Blackstone Fortress to also use Necromunda. So I want to paint a second Rogue Psyker as well to do with that. Also, some more stuff for the next expansion for Space Hulk, which you'll see airing soon. I think actually this coming week, Space Hulk kicks off. I want to jump into being able to do the Genestealer expansion too once I finish the missions from Deathwing. So I've got some Genestealer, some like classic metal Genestealer hybrids and stuff to paint up, as well as a Magus and some other odds and ends to kind of like finish the bad guy, the Op4 side when we move into that, because I do have the heavy weapon Genestealers, but it's cool for the Psychic Genestealers and the other Genestealers to have like the actual like Psychic models too that you can use. And yeah, and then I think I've got some other odds and ends I want to work on too for just other upcoming games. So yeah, let's see what I got done and what's coming up. So first things first, here is my new villain for the Perilous Tales. Yeah, like I said last week, I have a Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer miniature from Hassle-Free that I painted up as my moody vampire count, looking like Billy Idol, because why not? So I gave him some like red suede pants and Doc Martens, and I don't know, it just felt appropriate. These are Nolzur's doppelgangers that I used as his like thralls, his like kind of like infected ghouls. I went for like that the strain kind of vampire where they're not quite human looking, they look like some kind of parasite. And then these are the repainted bat swarms from Mantic for Vanguard. I also had an Ellis Left 4 Dead miniature that I painted up as my car mechanic, my like little protagonist. I kind of like to paint up a new team member every time I do one of these things because it's just cool to have like a new character that like Agent Anderson, Duchovny get like dragged into their adventure with. And I played a game with them this week, which you see coming up soon. Super fun. Like I said, there's an update if you've been following Perilous Tales to the rules, but you should be getting emails if you've already downloaded them, letting you know when things change. And here's my Escalation miniatures. So the first, I painted up XO1. This is the Servitor mini that you kind of find. He's just like wandering around the Blackstone Fortress. Nobody really knows where he came from. Base coated him, just Chaos Black. The Chaos Black spray, actually it's Rust-Oleum Flat Black, the spray primer. And then some XV88 for the armor plates, metallic for all the metallics. I think it's Boiler Black from P3. And some good old Coal Black for the clothing. I think that's Daemonite Hide for the skin. Gave it a wash with some Agrex gloss, and then just highlighted everything up. Some bronze little details. He's all finished. We've got the Crusader. I don't remember any of their names right now. I'm gonna have to, as I play, I'll have the cards in front of me, it'll be easier. I love this plastic Crusader mini. It's basically a reimagining of the original classic metal one from the Witch Hunters release. It's a beautiful miniature. Really captures the original, but he's the last of his crusade. Everyone else dies on his crusade, and he ends up in the Blackstone Fortress because he gets picked up by the Rogue Trader, who's also super cool. I love that the Servo Skull is reloading her pistol. She has like these Archaeotech pistols that she's having reloaded like on the fly, and then her peg leg is a giant stabbing sword. It makes me so happy. She's super cool. And then she was painted up mostly from browns, and then I think I used some Scale 75 metallics on her for the golds, and gave it a wash again with that Agrex gloss, and then highlights. People ask with the bases a lot. It's just Mornfang Brown dry brushed with Xander Dust, I think, and then just a beige, maybe Screaming Skull, and then the Data Locust, Data Locutus or something like that. The Deck Priest, who's super neat with his like rangefinder and pistol. Mostly just did the metallics first, and then painted herbs over top. Gave him a black, I think, null gloss wash, and then highlights. And the Primaris Psyker in the employ of the whatchamacallit, of the Rogue Trader, and she was done up just with Chaos Black again spray, basic base coats, washed and highlighted. That's Team Chaos Cult. These guys were done up just on the Necromunda deck plate, so I can dual use them basically, because they do make a cool Necromunda gang as well. And they were all painted at the same time, again from a black base coat. Actually, sorry, from a brown base coat. I think I actually used a airbrush a long time ago to base coat all of these with, what's it called? Good old golden high flow burnt umber, and then just did all the base coats, the metallics and stuff like that. The skin is P3. I think the I can't remember what color. I know it's lamp black for the pants. I don't remember what color I used for these. I think it's oh, I know what it is. It's Menoth Crimson or something like that from P3, and then blended up to the skin tone. I mixed some skin tone into it. Demon at Hide up to Screaming Skull for the horns and stuff to give that cool purple kind of tinge. Yeah, and they're all done. It's super fun. Like, I love these miniatures. They're all super easy to build too. They're monopose, but you know, I have a second set I'll probably do up again in this base coating so it matches, and that way I can keep them separate. But for the sake of expediency, I want to be able to use them in both games, and I painted them up in the same sort of like deck plating scheme as the rest of my Necromunda stuff. So the deck plates themselves are XV88 washed with Agrex Earth gloss, but then while it's wet, I stipple in some Vallejo red-brown weathering powders. Here's some of the coming up stuff. So first of all, I want to get the rest of the retinue characters done. So I do have an Arcoflagellant from my Sisters of Battle Starter, and I'll get painting him. I'll use the same basing, obviously. My 40k basing is all the same, so I can mix and match all my 40k stuff. So it won't be any problem to start my Sisters Army basically with him. And then this Rogue Psyker is going to actually be done in a different scheme from the ones in the rest of the box set, because I'm going to have him match my Chaos Cult gang for Necromunda. And then I got a couple of 40 mil bases here, so I can do up some Ogrins, the retinue characters. There's basically one of each, which is cool because I'd already pillaged an Ogrin out of here because I'm not going to use them in 40k for Necromunda to make my Jotun Pattern Servitor. So I can make one of each of the other ones to be the two from the Auxilia. So basically the two different Ogrins, one's a Bulgrin and one's an Ogrin. So one is a Ripper Gun and one is a Shield. And I've got all the parts to it, which is perfect. I had this one box of Ogrins has gone a long way basically into 3 different games, which will be super handy. And then here's some classic Jez Goodwin Genestealer hybrids that I'll paint up to the rest of my hybrids for, and there's a Magus as well. This is actually the Patriarch Magus, because he's like whispering to the Patriarch. He's like, there, don't worry, you weird looking California raisin, I've got this. And then these ones actually use the plastic Genestealer arms, which is funny, as well as the hybrid arms. So these arms are the same ones that the actual hybrids used in the Genestealer box set. And then these two right here are actually single piece. If you look at them, actually, I think they're from the same dolly even, because they have kind of the same pose. Maybe not. But one's got a auto pistol and like it looks like a power knife. And then this one's got a power knife or just a knife and an auto gun, which is pretty cool. But they're all done up in the same deck plating. I built these ages ago and just never painted them because I wasn't going through every expansion. I was just doing it for fun back then. And then I'm going to commit to keep cracking away on my Warhammer Quest stuff so I can start doing it solo, which is the Wizard, and then some Orcs, some giant spiders, and a Minotaur. So around 19 miniatures painted this week is a pretty good week for me, including getting my Escalation set done, which feels good. It's been sitting not quite finished for a while, but I'm excited to have a reason to go back to Blackstone Fortress and start a whole new campaign. And then, of course, getting another villain done for Perilous Tales was a lot of fun, too. Lots of stuff I can kind of like pick away at now for Blackstone Fortress with the retinue characters. And I've got 2 missions left to film for Space Hulk, which means that it's a good time to start picking away at the Genestealers and stuff, too, so I can start painting or filming the Genestealer expansion. As well as getting to work on, of course, lots of other new projects that are coming in next week. And Warhammer Quest, which is so intimidating. It's like 75 miniatures. It's so much stuff to paint. And I've painted, I think, 10. So yeah, we're gonna have to like just kind of like pick away at that. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you next Saturday for more On the Paint Table. Thanks, I'm Ash. Happy Wargaming. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below so you get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.